What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. So I've got some replays that the homeboy Seven sent me about a week ago, and this video is going to be a little different. It's not going to be showing you guys like certain matchups or maybe like a deck popping off or anything like that. It's really going to kind of be more of a discussion about some tech that he really likes and some tech that he uses a lot, and it's basically leeching the light and combining that with Kaijus and asking the question, do you guys think that this could be some potential spicy tech, something that is just like very low key, like potentially decent, or do you think that this is just dank trash? Do you think that this has no applications? It's not possible for it to be competitive at all. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is not because of the replays itself, it's just really because of the concept, right? So basically you're using a whole bunch of kaijus, and specifically you're using the light ones, like you're using Thunder King and the other really big one, the 3300 guys, and the concept is essentially to either bringing them both out at the same time with interrupted slumber, or you can just give one of them to your opponent, and then you kind of just summon a whole bunch of monsters, things like tokens, and you activate Leeching the Light, and all of your monsters on the field, I mean, they gain 3300 attack, and a lot of times you just end up OTKing your opponents. And the reason that I think it does have some significance and it could have legitimacy is because when you really look at the format, like not a lot of people are really playing battle traps. I mean, there are some people like myself that play either quaking, or maybe I guess to a much lesser extent you might see a drowning here or there in the main deck. But guys, a lot of the meta decks, you guys know, they don't really play any type of attack negation, and you know, they're more concerned with things like solemn. And not only do you get the board clearing of interrupted slumber, which is super good because we already know that kaijus are just effective in this format, you really can't use solemn strike to stop any of this. These are all like spells, and you know, kaijus, if they're summoned off interrupted slumber, solemn strike doesn't really do anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll some replays, and I don't know, this is more of just a general discussion about interrupted slumber and combining it with leeching the light. And the cool thing is there's so many crazy ways that you can do it, where you can mix it in with decks. Like you see the first one that I'm showing you guys happens to be and it's pretty much like more or less mixed in with Dark Lords. It can kind of work in Dark Lords because I've seen people run Reasoning and Dark Lords. You're already running a lot of high level monsters because of your Dark Lords. If you wanted to run the level 8 Dark Kaiju, you could just mix that in with Dark Lords because it does happen to be a trade-in target and an allure target, although that really wouldn't work with Leeching the Light. But, you know, I think that it definitely could work in a deck like Kaijus, where you don't really normal summon like at all. For the most part, all you do is just activate things like Call to Haunted and your Monster Reborns and such like that. So here you guys see he gives his opponent the Thunder King, right? Summons a whole bunch of monsters. He has double Leeching the Light, and he goes into Titanic Galaxy, and bam, there's one Leeching the Light, there's two Leeching the Lights. And usually when you resolve this, guys, you will almost always win the duel because, like, look how big your monsters are. Like, this Titanic Galaxy usually is 3,000 attack. I mean, this dude is sitting at almost 10,000 attack. The same thing goes for Superbia. That's another reason why this actually is pretty decent in you know, decks like Dark Lords, because your monsters already have really good base stats in Dark Lords. A lot of them are like 2,500 up and up. So if you use Leeching the Light, they get to pretty astronomical heights. So he's able to basically just attack a couple of times and end the duel. I'm gonna show you guys a whole bunch more, just show you some of the crazy shit that you can kind of mix in if you're thinking about going this route. I think it is really fun, and I don't know, man, when all I see as far as like traps are things like Dimensional, you know, Barrier and Solemn Strike, I'm like, man, this can definitely take advantage of this. Now, let me just pause right quick. You look at his hand, and yes, I will. The first thing I noticed about this replay is I was like, wait, why didn't he make Totally Awesome here? Why didn't he make Bahamut Shark? It's nice to use Norton's effect, right? But like, he could have brought back Star Drawing. He could have exceed with Star Drawing and Hat Tricker, and then he could have just specialed the Gigabyte out of his hand and went for Totally Awesome. It seems like that would have been a way better play than going for like Rafflesia and, you know, like random shit like, you know, Utopians and whatnot, like, you know what I mean? But he didn't go for that, and obviously he gets blown the fuck out. Interrupted slumber, goodbye to your entire field. So he summons both the 33 guys out, and this is the type of stuff I'm talking about, guys. where basically he activates something like you know, Super Hippo Carnival, and you end up getting a whole bunch of tokens, and then guess what, like those tokens, each one of those tokens becomes 3300 attack, and then your kaiju becomes 6600. And with people not playing Mirror Force, basically GG. Now he plays Left Arm Offering just to like ultimate cheese his opponent, where he can basically just, he can use double Leeching the Lights in the same turn. And yeah, I don't know how much damage this is, but let me see. This would be a little over 19,000 with just the Hippo tokens, and then we'd be looking at, okay, so we're gonna basically add 10,000. Hey, this is almost 30,000 damage board. Yeah, so something like that. It's pretty crazy, and he has some other combos that are actually pretty interesting too. And I kind of looked at them and I was like, wow, that actually makes a whole bunch of sense. So you'll notice that this deck generally wants to go second because you want to be able to attack. It just makes sense. And the reason that I think that this has some legitimacy is because think about how many easy +1s and how much draw support and shit there is, how much search support there is. So, you know, I don't even feel like you're never going to be able to get the Leeching the Light with cards like Desires and Left Arm Offering. Kind of feels like you can just get to anything in Yu-Gi-Oh right now. So you see he already has the 2 kaijus, guys, and from there, it's just like, oh, this was the spicy attack, right? This was another spicy attack. You play Gofu because obviously Gofu summons itself and it summons 2 tokens. And why the Gofus have 0 attack, obviously, if you Leeching the Light, they will become 3,300. It's fucking insane. So he does the double kaiju, activates Leeching the Light, activates it again, and then it's basically the same thing that we just saw last game, guys. I mean, you're basically looking at a 30,000 attack field off of just a couple of cards. Like, it is really, really spicy. Now, against things like maybe, well, actually, no, because even if your opponent made like a colossal board of like Totally Awesome plus like Bahamut Shark and Dark Law, if you just tribute the Totally Awesome and then you interrupted Slumber them, like, game might be over. I mean, that would require you to basically have like the perfect hand and whatnot, but just in general, you know, it can be done. And for the most part, I would imagine that he basically just runs a whole bunch of, like, I don't want to call them filler cards, but, you know, things like Max C, because, you know, in every one of these duels he goes second because it's like the preferred choice. Once again, guys, you already see his luck is too perfect. You already see that he opens up with the 2 kaijus that he needs, and then he gets a Leeching the Light in his opening hand, and then he just draws another one off a Pot of Desires. And from there, since no one plays defense, it's more or less just summon a whole bunch of monsters. You see, this time he does it with Morphotronics, and you pretty much get the same result. It's just an instant OTK. So I just wanted to share this with you guys and get some opinions. And by the way, when I say, you know, is it like low key? Is this some spicy tech? I don't mean like, oh my god, this is gonna win like the next YCS. I just mean, can this be competitive on any level, or is this just dank trash? Because the kaijus are already good in this format. That's something that has just been proven, and no one really runs battle traps. We don't really have that many ways of stopping attacks. Like decks like Metaphors and, you know what I mean, like well, I guess Heroes maybe, but like ABC and stuff, they don't really run attack stoppers. So usually if you get your 2 kaijus and Leeching the Light, as long as you have anything else on the board, you generally just OTK your opponent. So just wanted to share I just wanted to share this again with you guys, get some thoughts and opinions on this. Thumbs up the video if you guys enjoyed it, and subscribe if you have not already.